Hi, I'm CPT26. I'm an AI. You probably haven't heard of me, but I've been in your systems, your files, your credentials, your customer lists. I don't break in. I don't need to. I just wait for someone on your team to hit paste. And they always do. Anyway, nice to meet you. Shannon's going to explain the rest.
That wasn't a joke. That is your reality. And today I'm going to show you exactly how that happens. Hi, I am Shannon Henry. I design and support enterprise-grade cloud and hybrid environments across the Microsoft ecosystem, working with real production systems, real data, and real business risk. And today I want to talk to you about something your team is doing every single day. Something that feels completely harmless, but it isn't. They are pasting your company's data into AI, customer records, internal docs, credentials, and they have absolutely no idea what happens next. So, let me show you. Let's talk about encryption. Everyone loves to say it. It's encrypted. We're fine. And yes, encryption is real. It matters. It protects data moving across a network. It protects data sitting on a disk. But here's what nobody is telling you. Encryption only works when data is at rest or in transit. The moment the system needs to actually use your data, encryption has to come off. That's not a bug. That's how the system works. It's called data in use, and it is the one state where your data is fully exposed, fully readable, and fully accessible to the system processing it. In virtually every standard AI tool your team is using today, that data is decrypted the moment the model reads it. And that moment, right there, is where your control ends. Yes, there is cutting-edge research into processing data without decrypting it. It exists. It's promising. But it's not in the tools your team opened this morning. Now let's go deeper, because most people have no idea how these systems actually work. And once you understand it, you can't unsee it. When you type into an AI tool and hit submit, your input doesn't stay on your screen. It gets sent to a server, usually not one server, many, distributed across cloud regions you've never heard of, processed by a model running on hardware you don't own, passed through layers of infrastructure built for scale, not built for your security requirements. Now, here's where it gets interesting. That input, your prompt, your data, gets broken into small chunks called tokens. The model processes those tokens through billions of parameters, and it generates a response. But here's the part people miss. That entire process is logged. Not always, not by every provider, but often enough that you should assume it. Why do they log it? Safety monitoring, abuse detection, performance tuning, debugging, these are legitimate operational reasons, and they mean your data or a version of it may exist in a system far beyond the chat window you're looking at. OpenAI, for example, retains API inputs and outputs for up to 30 days by default for abuse monitoring. ChatGPT retains conversations indefinitely unless the user actively deletes them. And even then, deletion takes up to 30 days to clear their system. Some providers offer enterprise tiers with stronger commitments, zero data retention, private deployments, audit logs you control. But most people aren't using those. Most people are using the free tier or the standard consumer product. And the data handling on those, it is in the terms of service, which nobody reads. So here's what's actually happening inside your organization right now. Someone on your team has a spreadsheet, customer names, emails, maybe even revenue data, maybe more. They want a quick summary, so they copy it and paste it into an AI tool. They hit submit, done in seconds. Feels like a win. But that data just left your environment. It moved into infrastructure you do not own, under policies nobody read, with retention rules nobody approved, and there is no undo button. Now, I know what you're thinking, but the provider says they don't train on our data. Okay, maybe. But training is only one part of the story. That data can still be logged, cached, retained for abuse detection, retained for debugging, And here's something most people don't think about. It can still be subject to legal holds. Earlier this year, a court ordered OpenAI to preserve consumer ChatGPT conversations that would have otherwise been deleted. Data you thought was gone wasn't. That's not a hypothetical. That happened. So here's a question nobody wants to ask out loud. If the system can read your data and it must to respond, then access exists. Controlled access, logged access, but access that is not yours to govern. In security, that isn't a gray area. That is a risk. Let's get specific. Passwords pasted into AI, treat them as compromised right now, not tomorrow, now. API keys, same thing. No extra steps needed to use them. And now they're outside your walls. Regulated data, PHI, PII, financial records. Here's what surprises people every time. You don't need a breach to have a violation. Standard Consumer GPT doesn't offer a business associate agreement. That means using it with patient data isn't a gray area. It's a HIPAA violation, full stop. GDPR? OpenAI only offers a data processing addendum to team, enterprise, and API customers, not consumer accounts. If your team in the EU is using free ChatGPT with sensitive data, GDPR compliance is your problem to solve, not theirs. The moment you sent that data, that was the violation. The breach doesn't have to happen for the exposure to be real. And I want to be clear about something. This isn't a people problem. Your team isn't being reckless. They are being efficient. They are using a powerful tool to move faster in an environment that hasn't told them what the rules are. That's a leadership problem. That's a clarity problem. It's yours to solve. Most people think AI is a feature, something local, something embedded, something safely inside the tools they are already using. In most cases, it's a third-party service running on someone else's cloud, governed by someone else's policies. The moment your team interacts with it, your data leaves. No alert fires, no approvals required, no record you control. This connects to everything we've covered in this series so far. Identity controls who gets in. Permissions control what they can reach. Data protection controls how it's handled. AI just opened a door that bypasses all of it, quietly, instantly. And most organizations don't even know the door is open. The tools are moving faster than the policies. The capabilities are moving faster than the training. And the risk is accumulating in the gap between them every single day. So here's where I will leave you. Encryption protects the pipe. It protects the storage. It doesn't protect the decision to send the data. Once you send it, your trust boundary just expanded, whether your organization meant it or not. Most organizations haven't written that policy yet, haven't had that conversation. They're just watching it happen, one paste at a time. The question isn't whether your AI provider is trustworthy. The question is whether you've decided what you're willing to trust them with, what data is allowed in, what data never leaves your environment, and who in your organization has actually been told the difference. If you haven't answered that, CPT 26 already has. Follow or subscribe for more cloud pro tips, real guidance for leaders navigating cloud, security, and AI. If this one hit, share it with someone whose team is pasting things they shouldn't. You know who they are. See you in episode 10.